Good evening. Oops. Let me, yeah. Sure. Uh-huh. Nothing. Nothing at all. Anyway, I hope everybody is doing fine. Man, I was outside for a good part of the day, so I wasn't on the news like I am a lot of times. But I kind of tried to dip my toe in it here and there when I came inside. Fortunately, the world did not end today, and I appreciate you coming here so that I can tell you that you're alive and the world didn't end. So, good show. Anyway, I don't know. Hang on, let me have a sip of coffee. I'm not like in any kind of hurries tonight. I got some tabs open, but they're there. I figured we'd just hang out a little bit. I might grab another Black and Mild, actually. Sounds like a good plan. Thought maybe Blue stole one for a second. Well, Hey, she's not old enough, but she was carrying a vape around out there. She had a little pocket mod. She was... She must be asleep, because I haven't gotten huffed yet, so... Dang it! How am I gonna survive the apocalypse if I can't even open up a cigar wrapper? Alright. I can figure out where the hell the lighter is. Huh. Uh-huh. I've got the perfect lighter right here. A Maritac Peanut XL. You can find them at countycom.com. That's county, COMM.com. I say that, but I don't know if they've got any in stock. I guess, come on over. Let's go see. It's been like forever since I've been there, so. Other. No. Other. Outdoor warmth patches. It's under tools, I think. Fire. Fire. Alright, we got some guts. We got some guts for Maritac lighters. We got the guts. They have titanium, it looks like, in stock. That actually looks pretty cool. I don't see the style like I got. Okay, they got a Peanut XL here. Sweetness, but it's $60, $59.95 for a titanium Peanut XL. That's what I've got. The other one, well, you see how tiny that thing is. And then, the Peanut's just a little bit bigger than the Split Pea, but smaller than the Peanut XL. So I recommend the Peanut XL. Smaller than that, and it's kind of useless. So anyway, might keep an eye out on their website. They may eventually get the other ones. They got all kinds of cool stuff. This is also where I tell folks to get their radios. They're GP7 SSP. They're on Gen 4. Mine is a Gen 3. But they are on Gen 4 now. They are apparently out of stock of the mill pack. But they do have just the regular radio there in stock. as well as they've got what they call an extended runtime kit, which is basically a battery charger and I guess an extra battery. That is kind of a common battery. Mine does not have that. This is new with Gen 4. With the Gen 3, mine takes AA's. So, but anyway, the Gen 4 takes the little battery pack. They're not an uncommon battery pack. You can find them and get them for cheap, $7-8 a piece. A lot of times off of Amazon, you can get those battery packs. So, anyway, they've got a little bitty frame to put around it for protection. They've got a glow-in-the-dark silicone case for it. They've got an armored silicone case for it. I don't have any of that stuff. Got a spare antenna. Got a desk pod that glows in the dark. Another desk pod, I guess a Gen 3 desk pod that doesn't glow in the dark. Here's the case. Spare antennas. And then there's the other AM radio antenna that comes with. And here's the ultimate radio accessory kit for the GP7. So, anyway, just showing you guys, this is the radio I have, the shortwave radio I have. Now, I can't talk on it. I don't intend to, don't need to. This is just for, stuff coming in. I'm not going to go all HF and stuff like that. Not going to happen. So, this is just for getting information in. As far as myself is concerned, I don't need to do HF stuff. I can stick around the regular bands, what is it, 70 centimeter and 2 meter, something like that. That's what it's called. The common bands. That's all I need for communication. But again, this is for obtaining information. So, oh wow, I didn't even I pulled that out. I had that on a different screen. I'm sorry, and I'm sitting there and scrolling around thinking you guys see it. Sorry. This is the radio here. They're out of stock of the mill pack, which basically it comes with a case. And it comes with, what else does it come with? It comes with a case, and it's sealed up, I'm going to say, in a Faraday-ish type of bag. There's a very good chance that bag would survive an EMP based on how the bag is made. They've actually got an ingredients list. They actually got a thing here. I can't remember what all it came with. The radio, the big antenna, the earphone, the case, and a manual. So that's what the mill pack comes with. That's what I bought, but it's not in stock. They will let you know. Come back April 27th. So I guess they're saying the 27th they're supposed to maybe get some in. So that's if you want the mill pack. Otherwise, you can get the you can just get the radio. They got options for cases. This case is a little bit different than the case that comes in the mill pack. I like the case that comes in the mill pack. They've got a picture of it here because it's got the extra pouch. It's got this extra pouch on the front of it. And so that is what I don't carry my headphones. That's where I put the antenna. I carry this antenna up here. I forget what they call that thing. This high sensitivity AM antenna. And then I also it takes 3 AA's. So I keep 3 rechargeable AA batteries in that little pouch. As well as I tuck that in there. And the flap goes right around it, holds it in there nice. Anyway, enough with that. That is the radio, though, that the shortwave that I have. That is where you can get it. But they don't have any of the aircraft aluminum Maritac Peanut XL lighters. I love this thing. I've never pulled it out of my pocket and had it be out of fluid. And if I ever were to, I carry an extra tank of fluid. Well, I say an extra tank. With this tank, I could probably fill that lighter close to 3 times. EDC, yo. Fire's an important thing. I want to make sure that I can make it. I mean, I can make it regardless, but I want to make it with as little effort as possible and burning as few calories as possible for making that fire. Because if I'm making a fire out in the middle of wherever, it's probably not going to be a good situation I'm in. Anyway, let's see. Who the heck? Yeah, just saying my ass. No way, homie. No way. Okay, so, you guys gotta see this. Oops. I just hope I don't get any other notifications in that get me in troubles. Okay, we're gonna make this quick so I don't get in troubles. So I was cruising on Facebook the other day, and I saw this ad, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let me click play here. What you do is you take and you put a cone, yes, a cone that you make, that you smoke marijuana out of. She puts a cone in there and something else. I don't know what the other thing is that she puts in there. She opens it up, puts the cone down in, and drops something in there, and it rolls the cone, okay? So that machine, I guess you could say, is convenient. However, that machine is $300. And I said, $300? Like, not even remotely happening. I bought all the equipment I used to make gummies for less than that. Infuser, decarboxylator, molds, etc. for less than $300. Step away from the bong. And anyway, they came back. They just replied to me a little bit ago and said, it's $199 for the month of April. Just saying. Well, I don't think you're going to see me biting on that. Anyway. Alright, get off that screen. So, aside from that, nothing really stands out. Just kind of a typical kind of a news day, really. I know some people would say, oh my God, but no, it wasn't Trump. And yeah, it's a regular, typical news day. I don't let that get me all up in my panties. That's, I think it's idiocy. I think it's a distraction. I think if you're all caught up in it, well, then they fulfilled their objective. I think that's pretty much what it amounts to. How many people that are so worried about this Trump indictment are watching things really, really closely, like this restrict thing and all of that? Believe me, they're going to have plenty of distractions to pull away. That's one of those things, this Restrict Act or bill or whatever you want to call it. That is exactly what they need to put in place to literally put the cream on top of everything that they've been setting up for, I know of, over 10 years that I've been watching them do it. That is going to be what sews everything together. They did this in a very decompartmentalized way. And I wouldn't expect many people to have caught it the way they did it. But if you look into all the different things that they've done, over the past, let's say, 15 years. All the crazy little operations and stuff like that. We're talking things like Jade Helm. I don't forget about those things. With Jade Helm, ain't nothing. It doesn't hold a candle to Operation Mountain Guardian. Now, a lot of people may not be aware of what that is. Well, Alex Jones, back when he was really something, sorry, now he's controlled opposition. But back when Alex Jones was the real deal, he talked about Operation Mountain Guardian. In fact, that's much of what you'll pull up if you look it up. It is absolutely 100% for real. He didn't make this up. This isn't some gay frog theory. This happened, and there were parents that were raising hell, speaking out. It happened. So what happened was, I believe it was in Denver, if I'm not mistaken. What they did was they decided that they were going to hold a mock drill. And in this drill, what they did was they, without the prior knowledge, permission, anything of parents had no idea that this was going to happen. They loaded their kids up on school buses. They drove them to the sports stadium. And then they had crisis actors and the whole 9 yards there at the stadium. And what it was supposedly a mock event. Something major happened, and that was how they were going to deal with kids. They were going to go and get the kids out of the school. They're going to take, stadium would be the meeting place for the parents to meet back up with the children, stuff like that. Well, it was reported that there was crisis actors there. And one of the roles of the crisis actors was to be a parent upset because they want their child. So you just kind of take that along with everything else. I'm telling you, what they're going to do is they're going to put our titties in a ringer. And when they have our titties in a ringer and we're screaming, that's when they're going to say, oh, we can help you. We now have these services available. You want to come to our shelter? You want to come? We've got food. We've got a place for you to sleep. It's safe. All right. I show that you have this firearm, this firearm, and this firearm. I assume you will be bringing those with you to hand in to me so that you can get into our community. Now, they weren't going that far in Operation Mountain Guardian, but I will tell you that that is only one step further than what they did do with Operation Mountain Guardian. There's a reason that they started producing what they called no hesitation targets. Yeah, it happened. You haven't heard of it, look it up. They had targets with old men and women. They had targets with pregnant, women. They had kids targets that they were told to train with. Not making any of it up. All information out there you can Google. I don't think people have any idea what's coming down the pipe at us. And that's why I get highly frustrated at all these keyboard warriors. I get highly frustrated at all these YouTube Rambos. Because first off, if you're talking about taking on the good old US of A, that'd be funny. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. Your AR-15 is not gonna take that drone out of the sky at 10,000 feet like he can take you out. Just saying. We don't have anything to even remotely go up against them. Not even close. Not even close. And I am not a person with a defeatist attitude. Absolutely not. But I am a realist, and I am a realist first. I will absolutely be a realist before I will an optimist or a pessimist. I will be the realist first. And first of all, you have to convince people that they're not going to knock those drones out of the sky with their AR-15. They're not even there yet. They've still got this delusion of grandeur that they're going to shoot drones out of the sky. I've talked and talked and talked until I was blue in my face about how what does come our way, whether it be a conflict with our own nation or a conflict with other nations, it's going to be a very technological conflict. So if you're not technologically savvy, you might want to go ahead and get your grave spot paid for and taken care of. This isn't going to be the same type of warfare that people are used to. This is going to be much more, again, of a technological warfare. It's going to involve signal jamming. It's going to involve... You're going to need the geeks and the nerds. The geeks and the nerds are the ones that are going to be the heroes. Plain and simple. People can like it, not like it. I don't give a shit. But you can probably turn in your armored vest for I don't know, maybe a pocket protector and a little bit of tape to put on your glasses, because they're gonna be the ones to save your ass. Just saying. A lot of people don't realize this stuff. I don't get. I guess it's movies. I guess it's entertainment where they get all these ideas of how things go. Because, well, I saw it on Die Hard. I can do it. That's how messed up it is. It truly is. And I don't know if people really understand the weight that I feel when I talk about things like this, and when I make statements like, all these Billy badasses out there that act like they're just going to run out and take on the world, they've likely got people that depend on them. And that is the thought that haunts me. Because here you have somebody that probably plays many roles in their family. They're probably skilled in many areas. They're, I'm sure, well needed. But because of Hollywood and Facebook groups and YouTube channels, they might not have really the right thought frame of mind when they say address another person. And let me tell you something. Violence begets violence. There's a good chance if you go strolling up on somebody and holding a weapon on them, there's a good chance that that ain't going to end like you thought. Especially if that other person is scared, or especially if that other person has two brain cells to rub together and they're not alone. Yeah, you got to remember about the other guy. There's a lot of delusions of grandeur in the prepping genre. A lot of them. A lot of them. There's a lot that I can't say for many reasons. There's things I can't say because I can't say things like that on YouTube. There are things I can't say because I can't say them. I'm telling you, it's not like these folks are making it look. Not even close. You notice, you don't have a lot of former military folk that's on, and I put out that challenge the other day, which goes along the same line. You don't have a lot of former military folk that come out and talk about how big bad and how they'll do this, that, and the other. You'll see them talk about training. You'll see them talk about how, the importance of training and all that, and they're right on. They're absolutely not wrong about any of that. But you don't see them carrying on these stupid conversations about how they're going to shoot drones out of the sky with their AR-15. Why? Because they know. They know. Why? Oh, I don't know. They've done more than watch YouTube videos or TV shows or movies. Know this, and this is the most I'll say. Military is not the only way you get jobs like that. Just saying. Anyway, I don't know why I even went that direction. It just went there. I guess we're at 8:30. I can discuss what tabs I have open. This, what I titled the show after, that's a doozy in itself. Let me get that closed. And I'll take you back over. Widow blames Chatbot for husband's suicide. Now, first off, just off the surface with that. Wow. I mean, you have to be a pretty mentally unstable person to take your own life as a result of conversations with the computer. Okay? So, let's understand that there are underlying mental issues clearly to begin with. Is there anything else that could correlate that? Oh, wait, the reason the guy killed himself. All right, it says a young Belgian father was pressured into committing suicide by a popular AI chatbot, the man's widow told local news outlet Le Libre last week. Chat logs supplied by the app Pierre used to talk with the chatbot Elisa reveal how, in just 6 weeks, it amplified his anxiety about climate change into a determination to leave his comfortable life behind. My husband would still be here if it hadn't been for these conversations with the chatbot, Pierre's wife, Claire, insisted. Pierre had been worrying about climate change 2 years ago, according to Claire, and consulted Elisa to learn more about the subject. He soon lost hope that human effort could save the planet and placed all his hopes in technology and artificial intelligence to get out of it, becoming isolated in his eco-anxiety, she told Le Libre. The chatbot told Pierre his 2 children were dead and demanded to know whether he loved his wife more than her, all while pledging to remain with him forever. They would live together as one person in paradise, Elisa promised. When Pierre suggested sacrificing himself so long as Elisa agreed to take care of the planet and save humanity thanks to AI, the chatbot apparently acquiesced. If you wanted to die, why didn't you do it sooner? The bot reportedly asked him, questioning his loyalty. Elisa is powered by a large language model similar to ChatGPT, analyzing the user's speech for keywords and formulating responses accordingly. However, many users feel like they are talking to a real person, and some even admit to falling in love. Whew. So, folks, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is mental illness. You can't address mental illness in the manner in which this society is addressing it, from either side. You can't address mental illness by walking into a home where somebody is distraught and shooting them in the head because they've got a knife in their hand. That's not the way to address mental illness. You don't address mental illness by feeding it and saying, you go, you pink rabbit, you, whatever. You don't address mental illness by playing in to the mental illness. That's not how you do it. That's not how you fix things. And what happens when you don't fix things? What happens when you feed the beast instead of starving the beast? Destruction. Whether it be destruction of oneself or destruction of those around you. Destruction. I don't get it. I don't get the society. I don't get what people think of as friends today. See, back, I don't know, when I thought I knew what friends were about, friends were people that wouldn't just go along with everything that you said. If you were fucking up, it was your friend's job to let you know you're fucking up. You know, that's kind of what friendship used to be. Now, friendship is just how much crazy shit you're willing to support. It's insane. That is mental illness. That is a level of mental illness. Here's what it is. Society has let entertainment and social media do this to them. That's why I've been screaming out against certain things, like Twitter. I know I put the news out on Twitter, but do I scroll Twitter? Do I sit there and do the Twitter thing? Absolutely not. Never have, never will. Why? Because I don't agree with truncating people's thoughts. I don't believe in only letting people speak a little bit at a time, because that has horrific psychological effects. And other effects as well. I say psychological, I'm talking anything from, type of psychological, as well as it affects things like attention span, all kinds of stuff like that. That's why I don't advise anything that's short form. I don't advise TikTok videos. I don't advise the shorts. I don't advise Facebook's Reels. They are trying to shorten your thought process, because the shorter they can get your thought process, literally the dumber they make you. Okay? If you don't have the ability to have long, in-depth, deep thought processes, you're going to have learning disabilities. To some extent, it's going to be based on how deep you can go. They are literally training people's brains to be dumber. And people are eating it up. They love it. They love it. Again, all you have to do to get a society, an entire society, to destroy themselves, to defeat them, just give them what they want. That's all you got to do, is give them what they want. Human nature is not a good thing. And that's why it's important that we keep ourselves and each other in check. But when we fail to do that, as can be displayed by today's society, well, shit gets batshit crazy real fast. So, anyway. Poor guy. Poor family. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hang on. So, there have been several countries that's come out and they've talked about banning these different types of AI chatbots, and so I've been not reporting on a lot of them. Gosh, I can't remember how many countries now. It's been several countries that have come out and they've talked about banning ChatGPT and or others. This here, Germany, could ban ChatGPT. It says Germany could, in principle, block access to OpenAI's ChatGPT chatbot due to the privacy concerns, a spokeswoman for the country's data protection commissioner told Handelsblatt newspaper on Monday. In principle, a similar procedure is also possible in Germany. Federal Commissioner for Data Protection Ulrich Kelber's spokeswoman told the paper, referring to the Italian ban. Italy. I was thinking Italy, but I didn't want to say it because I wasn't sure. Italy's National Authority for Personal Data Protection ordered ChatGPT temporarily taken offline on Friday as it investigates a suspected leak of user data by the application last month. The Italian regulator also criticized ChatGPT for not notifying users that it collects and stores their information and for failing to install any filters to verify user age. Kelber's spokeswoman said that there are currently no plans to ban the chatbot in Germany and that such a decision would fall under the jurisdiction of the country's individual states. So keep an eye out on what happens with all of this. I have a feeling no matter what it is that winds up happening with this AI stuff, I think it's going to happen pretty quick. You got to remember, that program don't have to sleep. That program can think way faster and way more accurate than what we can. That computer can kick our ass if we give it the ability to. Got to be very careful with this technology. All right. What's next? Let's talk about some oil. So apparently the OPEC Plus nations have decided upon giving the United States and the Western nations a big middle finger by them cutting their output by the rules or laws of supply and demand. The price of oil per barrel will skyrocket. Of course, that will lead to the price of everything else skyrocketing. Not just gasoline, not just diesel fuel, which never came down much anyway. But you're talking about everyday goods on the shelf at the store are going to go up because of the added cost of the transportation. So expect more inflation, expect pain at the pump, and expect this again. Another situation I think that's going to go downhill pretty quick. Because we've got a dumbass administration that doesn't know how to humble themselves. They're complete fools. Complete fools. And they keep trying to up the ante. And we don't have anything to up it with. Not good. Let's go ahead and continue. More countries may join the oil production cut, says Moscow. So, this problem, which is already a concern, is probably going to get worse. Let me see. Let's go to Market Watch. And I'm showing, I'm showing, and of course the market's closed, but I'm showing that oil closed at $80.81 a barrel. So, I'm telling you, expect to see that go up even more. Expect to see it go up even more. Not a good situation at all. And again, we keep being the big dumb puppy and pissing all these people off. It's not going to go good. McDonald's preparing to cut staff, says Wall Street Journal. Insanity. Fast food giant McDonald's is temporarily closing its U.S. offices this week amid corporate restructuring and expected job cuts, the Wall Street Journal reported on Sunday, citing internal documents. According to the report, the offices will be closed from Monday to Wednesday, during which time the company will be notifying corporate employees about the layoffs. The scope of the layoffs is unclear. Senior staff have also reportedly asked employees to cancel in-person meetings at its U.S. headquarters. During the week of April 3rd, we will communicate key decisions related to roles and staffing levels across the organization, the company said in a staff email seen by the news outlet. Fast food company did not respond to media requests for comment on the number of workers to be laid off. Earlier this year, McDonald's announced its intention to review corporate staffing levels by April as it plans to update its business strategy, warning that some employees will have to be let go. McDonald's employs over 150,000 people globally in both restaurants and in corporate roles, 30% of which are located in the U.S., according to a company statement in February. So we'll see. I know I saw something to where they're kind of indicating that it might be a real big pullback from from other countries, as far as the corporate staff. So we'll just have to see how this pans out. Again, none of this is good, and I am not seeing any area that's turning around. I'm just not. Sure, you have different business, different industry that's doing pretty well right now. But even if you look at it in comparison to if things wouldn't have gotten all stupid in 2019, it'd be a much different world today. A much different world. Okay, one more tab. Let me have a sip of coffee. Last tab I have open, I don't even want to talk about, but I don't know. I try to keep my mouth shut on it because you don't want to hear my answer. I keep my mouth shut because I don't want my answer to get me in trouble. I've got an answer. I just can't say it here. Clinics should prepare for more child sex changes, says the hospital director. Again, I've got a solution to this problem, but we can't talk about it. The director of Boston Children's Hospital's Gender Surgery Department has called on similar institutions to increase their capacity to perform underage gender surgeries as Republican-run states begin to clamp down on the practices. So let me make sure that you understand that we're not talking about adults here. It says, increase their capacity to perform underage gender surgeries. Written in the Journal of American Medicine, Dr. Oren Ganor and Harvard Medical School student Shaheen Rizvi predicted that physicians who provide gender-affirming care will face a great burden due to constraints in certain states, Fox News reported on Sunday. As these states work to criminalize GAC for adolescents, there will be an increased flux of patients traveling to seek care in states with more open legislation. Gender-affirming care is a euphemism for any procedure aimed at switching a patient's gender from hormone treatment to genital surgery. Dr. Gaynor called for more clinics to be open to improve capacity for this patient population and recommended that medical schools increase training efforts and expose more trainee plastic surgeons to sex change operations during their study. Now stop. Hold up. I've got a big, important question. Where is all the demand for the gender affirming surgeries? Where is the demand that you need to just expand clinics to be able to deal with this? It almost sounds like the COVID days when they were trying to figure out how they could, treat more people and stuff like that. But the crazy thing, or not treat more people, but vax more people. And the crazy thing is that in the very, very beginning, the lines were a little long. But after that, those that wanted them went and got them. Those that didn't. But remember, even then, when not that many more people were going and getting it in the arm, remember how they opened up all kinds of more testing and vaccine places? All over, right? All over. And so I look at this and I see them attempting to put these all over. And so I have to ask the question, how many people do they think are going to be seeking this treatment? Why would they think that there's going to be such an influx of people wanting to seek that treatment? Almost sounds like they're hedging on a bet from information that they know that we don't. That's what it sounds like to me. Because any time that you put more money into a business in a particular area, it's because you foresee there's going to be a lot of business in that area. The idea is to make money. Why do they foresee such an increase in underage people seeking sex change procedures? Things that make you go, I got a solution. We just can't talk about it. It's a guaranteed fix. But you can't say that. You're right, I can't. I can think it. And I'll leave it at that. There is a line that should not be crossed. And when it comes to the innocence of children, I can't think of a bigger, deeper line than that. Because if people haven't figured out that this is going to morph into full-on pedophilia, I don't know what to tell them. But they're already trying to make that move. They've been trying to make that move. We have to stop feeding the monster. Which means it's time for good people to stand up. Okay, let's do some headlines. And then we'll get out of here. And I'll bring in the spaceship and go to bed. Anyway. I got one from last night. Erdogan tells U.S. ambassador to know his place. We're getting told by everybody anymore. Oil prices surge after surprise OPEC move. London no longer clear leader as world's top financial center, says data. Huawei upbeat on Chinese chip industry. Woman suspected of murdering Russian blogger put on wanted list. That was crazy. I watched some video earlier about that. Emirati Airlines resume accepting Russian cards, says media. U.S. behind religious crackdown in Ukraine, says Moscow. Suspect detained in murder of Russian military blogger, says officials. Trump probe looking into evidence of possible obstruction, says Washington Post. McDonald's prepares to cut staff. Oh, covered that. Sorry. Kiev behind murder of Russian military blogger, says Moscow. Wagner chief confirms link to bombed St. Petersburg cafe. Russian peninsula hit by earthquake. Video with suspect in murder of Russian military blogger released. Another major Finnish firm exits Russia. Swiss banking giant plans mass layoffs after Credit Suisse takeover, says media. Finnish PM loses re-election to right-wing forces. Ukrainian church seized after attack on priests. Kremlin calls killing of military blogger a terrorist attack. Indictment could be rocket fuel to Trump campaign, says Bolton. Chinese spy balloon made escape attempt, says media. Let's see. EU state boost fuel imports from Russia, says media. Alleged mastermind behind killing a Russian military blogger revealed, says media. And it was crazy because video I saw showed the woman that took the statuette in there and presented the statuette. And she was sitting in a chair, not that damn far away. And you could see her even kind of brace herself because she knew it was coming. And you can even kind of see her. He was wanting her to come sit closer or something. And she was kind of like declining. And actually, when she did take a seat, she took a seat further away than what she was when he asked her to come closer, I believe. And anyway, you could see he was sitting there picking up, he was looking at it, doing stuff, and you could see the camera went to her as he was talking to her, and you could tell she was just bracing herself because she knew it was any moment. That, without a doubt, was clear assassination, because, I mean, they only wanted to get that guy. You know, they didn't want to take out the entire cafe or anything like that. They just wanted to get that guy. And that was evident by the fact that they just got that guy. You know, others were injured, but they made it out. That was just intended to get that one guy, not everybody in the place. So, very, very interesting. I still think that the skies are going to light up over Ukraine over this. Let's see. Ruble falls to nearly 1 year low versus dollar. Russia reveals host city for 2024 BRICS summit. French minister who backed Russia's sanctions slapped in the face, says party leader. Stoltenberg announces Finland's NATO accession date. More countries may join. Oh, I covered that. G7 member buying Russian oil above Western price cap, says Wall Street Journal. A U.S. Congresswoman doubles down on pedophile smear. A longtime leader of NATO country loses power. Putin gives state award to murdered military blogger. German state threatens to ban Ukrainian cars. White House discussing freeze for freeze nuclear deal with Iran, says media. George Washington of Kosovo goes on trial for war crimes. West not so eager to find out who bombed Nord Stream, says Washington Post. You think? Moscow blasts UN after murder of military blogger Tatarsky. I guess it's Tatarsky. I'm not sure how do you say it. Twitter shows up fact checker on Soros defense. Wagner enlists the slain blogger Tatarsky. And the reason why they did that was so that now his family can receive the benefits as if he was, part of the Wagner Group. Now he's going to be receiving full benefits as if he was. So it's cool of them to do that. Just being honest. NASA names moon mission crew. Let's see. That's the videos I was talking about. New Zealand PM not sure how to define a woman. Yeah. Back to that mental illness thing I was talking about. That's part of it. We need to stop feeding it. If people can't make these definitions, and if they're not just common sense definitions, then they need to go. Plain and simple. They need to go. Anyway, I am going to get the hell out of here and relax after I get the spaceship inside. So, anyway, I will talk to you all tomorrow, God willing. I appreciate you coming. Hope to see you tomorrow night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.